Letter to Emma Cruises from John C. Weaver from Rosamond, California. Uh, Morning, Em. It's 2:42 in the morning Pacific Standard Time. I'm not alive. I'm not awake yet. I'm an emotionally screwed up and sleep deprived zombie. Urgh. Anyway, it's the 21st of September 2023. It's Thursday. Thank God. The presentation had been sent over to you as PowerPoint. I'm hoping you'll be able to use it. I'm hoping the professor can actually use it too, because unfortunately, the school system we have out here in Antelope Valley College, located in Lancaster, California, is dependent upon a few school systems, actually, a few computer systems that don't allow much creativity. Give me a good PowerPoint presentation. I mean, it takes me a while, but I can get the thing fixed up, and I did. That thing I was going to be doing concerning about cruising. I mean, this thing was concerning about originally weasel, not weasel words, weasel words. Sorry, speech impediment. Deceptive and hook, line, and suckered words coming out of the advertisers, trying to get you enticed. Can I entice you in something, Miss Emma Cruises? Me and Captain Hudson would like to take you on a PowerPoint presentation. Yeah, it took me about weeks just to get that thing fixed. The creative side. Now, if it was just a formal, just a full, an MLA style essay, 3 or 4 days, I can get the thing worked on. No problem at all. But when we're talking about graphic essays, my professor dropped on us. He gave us about 4 or 5 weeks to work on this monster. Not to mention another graphic essay to work on another monster dealing with subject matter we're dealing with our English. Now, it's not English language itself per se, as in you must speak in this language, Earthman. No. No, 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 no. I don't know. You've never been in our college systems before, and I'm still going through our community college. It's the one of the lowest rung on there. I've got critical thinking in literature for this particular semester. And the book we got doesn't mean much to you, but to us people in the English language, it's got a lot of stuff in here, including certain topics we're going to be touching for the rest of the semester. There's a lot of material, source material, that the professors can draw upon, books similar to these, that are 2 or 3 semesters long. And in a short 18-week span, we have to crunch and we have to work thoroughly in a fast pace to get this stuff taken care of. Otherwise, we ain't getting the grades and we ain't moving on in college. In this particular situation here, well, there was a section in here concerning about deception and lying and stuff like that. Well, doing weasel words is also a part of this one here too. They are the hook, line, and sucker words. The essay I was trying to do the creation for my class, a presentation to them, was dealing with hook, line, and sucker words that the cruising industry would use. And a lot of them. I tried to dig up current stuff and past stuff so I could put them into the PowerPoint. So I could have presented to the class of getting them enticed into cruising. And the time limit is just shortening up that I don't have the time to do it. I can put in the paperwork. I can put in the PowerPoint presentation to the instructor. I'll get graded that way, and that's it. But some of the other material that we're doing, we're just trying to finish up. I mean, we had a large class, whittled down a little bit, but there was still a lot of work. Some people did it as a group. I did it as a solo. So, and it would have been nice for the students to see something about cruising, though. But they did love him. And one time in class, I brought two of them, one and two. So in the essay I was doing for PowerPoint, I was showing an old cruise ship that I used to sail on just once in my lifetime, and it was an incredible 3 day stint with my brother. And it makes it special for me to show a picture of the old ship because it was the only time my brother and I were actually able to go on a cruise together. Years before he passed. There was a little bit of a tribute somewhere in the creative stuff I had. I'm hoping I still got it in there because it would explain a lot. It would open up and focus on three topics, three cruise companies. Carnival Corporation, which was doing the Carnival ship and also Princess, and Disney. Now, all three companies I haven't done. My mother did Princess Cruises, the Sun Princess, before she got scrapped. Long story short, she used to be a bookkeeping income tax specialist. She saved money on a travel agent, worked on his books. And to show appreciation for the amount of money he saved, he got my mother, my brother, and I cruise tickets. Ma would take a friend of hers on a 10-day Mexican Riviera run on the Sun Princess. Before, she looks like this modified bathtub toy. If you looked at the old pictures of the Sun Princess, it's like love at first sight. I'm still crushed that she's gone, and so is the Monarch. Monarch, when I looked at her, looked like my grandmother and my aunt until you get used to them. And you start loving them. And then when you had to leave them, it was heartbreaking. But I tell you, when you see your first cruise ship and she's got lines, and she's got angles, she's got form and function, her bowsprit is just gleaming in the sun. The reflection of the water is just magnificent. And show off this gleaming dolphin of a ship. She looked like she could sail straight through everyone's heart. She was that angled, formless perfection. Smooth, not jagged, not rough. She was aerodynamics in water. She may have been from an older class, an older time. She may have been 30 years past her theoretical creation in prime, but I fell in love with that ship. There's a story on this one, Em. I think I've told it, but I'll tell it again because it's worth telling. After Ma got the call from the travel agent, a guy named Jerry from Bull Rush Travel, God rest his soul. I don't know what the hell happened to him, but I missed that dude. He was also a Disney aficionado, handicapped person going around Disney because he loved dealing with Disney and he had a season pass. But when you had owners and management over Disney Corporation screwing things up with the park, and screwing things up as in interfering with handicapped access and anything regarding handicapped, he lost his annual passport real fast. He got ticked off at him. Hadn't been back since that last time I heard. But he got us cruise tickets. David and me would do the 3-day stint, Ensenada and back, on board the Monarch of the Seas. Ma, as I said before, have a friend of hers do a 10-day stint. After we get the call, we ran over to a woman boutique shop dealing with specialty clothing for different sizes, shall we say. Ma's coordinating things with her friend, and we're waiting for Ma to get their shopping done. And we get the shopping going, get it back home, start packing things up. Takes us a couple hours, get our suitcase going. And we take an hour or two's nap before we have to get up and get the heck out of the house about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. Takes us about an hour just to get halfway across the San Fernando Valley. And get over to our friend's house out in North Hollywood. She can't believe she's going on a cruise. This is a Mexican Riviera cruise. This is one of those areas that does allow during that time, and I think during these days too, but we still prefer the passports and visas. But they still accept a driver's license and copies of birth certificates. We couldn't get a passport fast enough. There's no way in hell to get it unexpedited. So the Mexican run was the easiest thing for us to do, staying close to U.S. waters anyway. But Ma and her friend Dee, God rest her soul, two ladies that charmed me a long time ago. Long story and a lot of videos on this one, Emma. A lot of them. A Diary of the Griever named John Weaver. My YouTube channel. I deal with my emotional issues concerning my grieving, mourning, politics, if my mind is still working enough, and other things. But getting back to the cruise, we get her packed up. Her kids couldn't believe what the hell was going on. They helped drag the stuff down to the... Man, actually, I think my brother and I were doing all the heavy-duty lifting during that time. That's like over 20 years ago. 20 plus years ago. And we're getting out of the San Fernando Valley on 405, heading over to Port Long Beach. Hang a left. No, actually, hang a right. And we're going through the streets. We get over a hump, close to the port of Los Angeles. World Cruise Center. Berth 92 and berth 93. And you would see, not covered up by one building, but by an open area. You're looking at this big white thing. It's about 8 o'clock in the morning. We'd already been past sunrise. We're hungry as hell, and we haven't had breakfast yet. But I see this thing. Granted, I have no clothing, extra clothing brought with me. This was just me waking up in the morning. I have to make excuses to the office. Yeah. Call center from hell. Long story. But over the hump, and you see the Port of Long Beach. Actually, Port of Los Angeles. And you see this white angel on water. I was almost deadly serious taking D and saying, "No, D, you're not going with Ma. I'm going with Ma. I want her. I want her. I want her. I want her. I want. Mama, come on, please. Oh, she's gorgeous." I had seen The Love Boat back in the 70s and 80s. Who hadn't seen The Love Boat during those days? It's an ABC Princess Cruise advertisement for about an hour. A comedy, romance, hour-long show before Fantasy Island. Mr. Rock. I am Mr. Rock, your host. Welcome to Fantasy Island. Now, the Princess Cruises. you hear the Love Boat thing. Now, if you ever got onto YouTube and you'd listen to the Love Boat, this is the song that we listened to in the 70s all the damn time. Holy Pete. Oh boy. So this was part of the essay, at least at one time until I took it off. Earlier versions of it, anyway. I was having so many technical issues I couldn't put up enough sound effects in it, so I just stuck with an ocean sound and just left with it. Seeing this white goddess, this chariot of King Neptune. I don't know what other kind of words I can describe this vessel. Yeah, I was smitten. You want to talk about a weird image of how smitten. And the old adage is, and we think about how cavemen attracted women by taking a club and hitting them over the head, and then they dragged their women. I think this particular woman was trying to club me to death with her charms and her looks, and I wanted to go real bad, and I couldn't. I couldn't. I mean, technically speaking, I didn't have anything with me for it, not even the ID, so there's no way in hell. But we got Ma and Dee situated in the cruise terminal. Waited until noon until they got brought in, until they started embarking. And then my brother and I went out and got some food. At this ship, I was drilling. Dave kept telling me, "Will you stop that?" I said, "Dave, I want to go. I want to go." Our turn will come. We'll see the ship and we'll go crazy. Oh, my Dave, she wants me. I want to go with her. Look at her. She's so beautiful. I'm blubbering like crazy. My God, I was embarrassing myself. In the PowerPoint presentation, it was just old information concerning about what I knew about cruising. Trying to show the weasel words, the attracted words that Princess Cruises would use to get its intended prey on board. And then I saw the Monarch. About a month later, after Mama did hers, 10-day run, we saw the Monarch of the Seas. I swear it was almost looking like the damn minnow. You see Gilligan's Island for so long, you just look at this small ship. And I'm looking at the Monarch and I'm like, what a minnow. But there are stories I could tell about this one here too, maybe a little bit later. Or maybe buried in my wind files somewhere that I've talked about cruising like this one. But after the 3-day stint, I wanted to get back on Monarch real bad. Real bad. Royal Caribbean had me hook, line, and suckered. They did. They did an outstanding job on this ship. For a lot of people, she may be an aging rust bucket, but man, she was like dealing with my grandmother and my aunt. Hold an endearing spot in my heart. I was trying to relay and give that impression on the PowerPoints. And then also in the PowerPoint presentation, I also did something about Disney Cruise Line. I had never been on a Disney cruise ship. Hell, I haven't even been over to Walt Disney World itself, and that was a youthful dream of mine. I saw the Contemporary Hotel with the monorail system. As a kid, that was the coolest thing I could ever see. And then to get you into the Magic Kingdom, and I know they got the other kingdoms out there, but the Magic Kingdom I still wanted to do because it was an oversized Disneyland. And I was still a nut job for Disneyland. At the time, I was still a Disney pin fanatic as well. Who knew that oddly shaped pieces of metal welded together or glued on with different designs would be endearing to a lot of people, including me. And a Disney cruise ship would be the epitome of going into a cruise park, going along Main Street, seeing the shops, tasting the food, listening to the music. More importantly, going outside of that comfort zone and seeing the water around, the ocean water. Sailing on King Neptune's realm. And then the trip will be over. You get yourself docked. And in a blink of an eye, it was just all a memory. For a 3 or 4 dayer, yeah, that may be about. For a 7 to 10 dayer, maybe a little bit more than that, if I can actually afford it. But that would be something. But it also means I need to spend money on the travel insurance, medical insurance. Not to mention the passports. Or I'll just say the singular, not the plural. Passport. I don't know, I got a Genghis McGee look. You put me on a passport, I can look like a criminal instead of just smiling. Just. And be that way about it. I had gone to Disneyland out in Anaheim, California for so many times in my lifetime with my family that even after they've passed, I still harbor a little bit of an inkling to go over there just to walk down Main Street again. It'll cost me about $150 just to do that, just to walk down Main Street and relive the memories. Yeah, that goes for another video right now. I'm sorry, but this one's crossing over. Part 3.